Well, a proposal before Evansville City Council aims to fund affordable housing projects, but it would divert from funds from the Evansville Police Department. That proposal being met with both support and opposition.
Yeah, the proposal sounds similar to what some cities have discussed. However, the $250,000 in diverted dollars would still be granted to the police department, but will come from a different source, however. Here to discuss the details with us this morning, Evansville Mayor Lloyd Winnecke. Mayor Winnecke, it's always good to have you on.
Good morning, Lauren, Tommy.
Now, Monday night, a proposal by Council President Alex Burton was met with passionate pleas from the public. Is this just a shell game to get the funding from one area of the budget to another that may not be eligible to have that funding in the same way? That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, I don't think I'd use the word shell game because that has somewhat of a negative connotation. I do think it's basically it would be a net zero effect on the police department budget because there would be no net loss. Basically, Councilman Burton wanted to, as you accurately described, move $250,000 from the police department budget to the affordable housing line budget, but then replenish that $250,000 line item from the police department from another funding source. So there would have been no net gain or no net loss. So, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure that there's going to be support for the amendment overall for a variety of reasons, but it certainly was a robust discussion at Monday's council meeting.
Now, I mentioned the shell game because it just gives a visual of what's going on here, moving one thing to another. Why couldn't that money have been taken from a different department's budget?
Well, theoretically it could be, but you'd have to ask Councilman Burton. He was the one who proposed the amendment.
Okay, was it a way to antagonize people? That's what it seems like. Maybe just walk it up to the line to open a discussion about defunding police.
I do not believe it was meant to antagonize. I think Councilman Burton made it with the best of intention.
Mayor Winnecke, one question that I have, and I know from attending the first budget meeting for Evansville, you had mentioned that one of your main goals, one of your priorities for 2021, affordable housing. We know that the city definitely needs that. If this money, this $250,000, does not come from where President Burton is, suggesting it should come from, what is the city going to do to make sure that the people who need this so much have access to more affordable housing here in the River City?
Well, I think the thing to keep in mind is we have budgeted $500,000 in this line item for each of the last several years, and that in fact is the amount that we have proposed for 2021 as well. The other fact that is important to remember is that we don't have a lot of people lining up requesting these funds. So these funds are meant to support affordable housing projects. They're meant to support small one-off individual requests. Maybe someone needs a new ramp for accessibility, new windows. So they're meant for, the money's meant for a variety of things, but we don't have a lot of people knocking down the door to utilize these resources. We do believe that given the pandemic and the associated economic outcomes or side effects, that housing, affordable housing and safe housing will continue to be a priority for our community. That's why we continue to fund it at the level that it is.
Now, I want to mention the next city council meeting will take place on Monday, September 28th. They'll get a second reading then before any vote would ever be made. I want to mention some positives going on here during this pandemic. We have a lot of city projects, quality of life, as you just had mentioned, very important to our citizens. And the Deaconess Aquatic Center, if you haven't been over there in a while, you blink and it's already a stunning sight already. That site, as we see it here, aerial shots from high above Garvin Park. Tell us about the progress being made there.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. That is in the ground, given what it is, and is coming way out of the ground, too. So to remind viewers, this is a roughly $34 million project that is jointly funded between the city and the private sector. We've been able to raise well over $5 million from the private sector, but this will have two pools inside, an indoor competitive swimming and diving area, and a separate pool for inside for recreation, therapy, swim lessons, just to have fun. There will be an outdoor splash park. All this, as you pointed out, is well on track. It's being constructed right across Main Street from Bosse Field, and we have an anticipated completion date of next July.
Mayor, I know that you couldn't see it, but we had a drone video playing over there, and that thing is just massive. I mean, you see Bossy Field right next to it. It's just as big. So that is going to be an absolutely wonderful asset for our community and something that we know that we've been needing for quite some time with the aging Lloyd pool. So very exciting stuff still happening during this pandemic.
Indeed.
And again, thank you, Lloyd Winnecke, for joining us. The mayor, of course, very, very generous with his time, of course, during this pandemic, and certainly a volatile city council meeting the other night. We hope to get an update on that in the future. Thank you again, Mayor Winnecke.
My pleasure. Take care.
Yes.